Not only is New York City home to over 8 million people, but New York also supports a vast wildlife system that has been thriving here for centuries. In mid-March, I met with naturalist and educator Dr. Leslie Day. Leslie has been living on the Hudson River in a houseboat for the past 35 years. From her port side window, she has a clear view of Manhattan's Riverside Park and one of its many treasures, a nest of red-tailed hawks.
My name's Leslie Day, and I live at the 79th Street Boat Basin, which is a marina on the Hudson River in New York City. One of the animals I've been studying for many years now is the red tailed hawk. And behind me, in a sweet gum tree, the top of a sweet gum tree, is an enormous red tailed hawk nest. And this pair of red tailed hawks are fairly young, might be about 5 or 6 years old. And this is their 3rd year of nesting, maybe their 4th.
After speaking with Leslie, I had the opportunity to join a tour of Central Park with another hawk expert.
My name is Rob Mastriani, and I'm an urban park ranger here in New York City. Actually, Pall Mall was, nested, still nests on 5th Avenue and 72nd Street. That was like the first urban hawk nest as for me growing up to ever experience, and that's what got me hooked after seeing that nest.
Rob was able to give me some good background information on urban hawks.
Red-tailed hawks are native to New York, and they're pretty much the most successful raptor in North America because they breed in several different types of habitats. So they're definitely native to here. So they'll eat pigeons, which is in abundance here in New York City. If you look around, they're everywhere. Rats, Norway rats, mice, all types of smaller birds, grackles. They'll get blue jays as well, and they'll even so they're pretty diverse. So that's what helps keep them successful.
Last summer, there were 12 confirmed nesting pairs of red-tailed hawks in New York City's 5 boroughs. 6 of those pairs are located in Manhattan. I chose to concentrate on 2 nesting locations, one in Riverside Park and one in Central Park. It's not all easy street for red-tails. Many city residents view urban wildlife as pests.
Another problem we have is New York City, there's a lot of rats and people want to get rid of them, so unfortunately a lot of people do put out rat poison, and sometimes that could affect the hawk population by secondary poisoning.
And unfortunately, it does.
They fed their babies a poisoned rat, and all 3 babies died. And it was right around Mother's Day, 3 years ago. Then they built their nest on a London plane tree over here, and they raised a couple of babies there. They raised 3 babies, 2 were killed on the West Side Highway, so then 1 lived. And then they took that nest down, and then they built the nest where it is now, in the sweet gum. And last May, the day before Mother's Day again, a huge windstorm blew in and blew the entire nest down. All 3 babies died. Oh. So, it's tragic. And people were crying and what these poor hawks have been through.
Another disease called fronds is carried by pigeons.
Pigeons will have a fungus that grows in their crop, and that passes on to the hawk, and it's a horrible disease for them because the fungus actually grows and actually stops their respiratory system, and their eyes will bulge out. It's just an awful disease. With
all the problems that hawks face, they receive support from people who care and want to see them survive.
A lot of people and students and tourists are becoming more familiar with a red-tailed hawk as a New York City bird. There's a fenced-in area around the tree that the nest is at, because it's a very busy park and there's a lot of people walking their dogs, a lot of kids running around. And during the nesting season, it gets a little tricky because when the fledglings start branching, and then sometimes they'll crash land and just hang out on the ground, and that could be a little dangerous for newly fledged hawks.
And when the co-op board of an Upper East Side apartment building began to remove a nest from one of its ledges.
So when they took that nest down, it was a hue and outcry, international, and people came from all over the world to demonstrate. And eventually they put the support back up. They just couldn't stand the pressure anymore. Yeah. and Pale Mal rebuilt his nest, but not since then have any eggs hatched.
Ranger Rob sees a bright future for urban hawks.
You know, like I said, growing up in New York City, it was very rare to see a hawk. And now, since over the years that we have pesticides that have been banned by the government, like DDT, and that helped actually bring back the numbers. You know, there's plenty of food in urban areas like New York City, and we're seeing hawk nests all around, you know, the country in different urban areas.
People are learning not to underestimate the importance of nature within cities, and with time, we might even invite red-tailed hawks to nest on our buildings.